Another important topic, borrowing. The constitution, see in the center-state financial relation, how the constitution have clearly mentioned the borrowing power of the union as well as the states in the constitution itself. In 2018, there have been a question regarding the borrowing power related with this provision. We will see that question also and we will understand what is mentioned in the constitution regarding the borrowing power of the union as well as the states. So regarding the union, see union have the unlimited power of borrowing, okay. Union, the constitution says that union shall have unlimited power of borrowing based on the security of the revenue of India. Okay, based on the security of the revenue of India, either within India or outside. Okay, so based on the security of the revenue of India, the union government can borrow without any restrictions. But again, Article 292 clearly says that this is an executive power. Okay, so the union borrowing power, the union government can borrow in an unlimited manner. That is an executive power of the union. This executive power of the union extends to borrowing upon the consolidated fund of India. So by keeping consolidated fund of India as a guarantee, the union government can borrow, but within the limits. If the parliament by law set any limits regarding the borrowing power of the union, within that limit it can borrow to whatever it wants. Okay, so under Article 292 have clearly explained the borrowing power of the union. The union, by taking consolidated fund of India as a guarantee, by showing the revenue of India, it can borrow in an unlimited way, but it is also saying that if the parliament by law, if it is have put any restriction, it have to follow that restriction. This is mentioned under the Article 292. Now, regarding the borrowing power of a state. So, the borrowing power of a state is having some constitutional limitation. Constitution have put some restriction on the part of the borrowing power of the state. We will see that what are that. First, it says that the constitution says that the state cannot borrow outside India. If the state have to borrow, it should borrow within India, inside India, not from outside the country. So this is one constitutional limitation on the borrowing power of the state. The state cannot borrow outside the country. Second restriction is that, see, the state executive, like in the case of union executive, state executive can have the power to borrow within the territory of India upon the security of the revenue of the state. By showing the consolidated fund of the state, by showing the guarantee, security, consolidated fund of the state, it can borrow. But this borrowing, by showing the consolidated fund of India as a security, it can borrow. But that borrowing, by using consolidated fund of the state, as a security, it can borrow with certain restriction. There are certain conditions employed by the constitution. What are that? It says that each state legislature might have imposed some limitation. So, it should be within the limitation imposed by the respective state legislature. Then this is a very important condition. If the union has guaranteed, so normally in order for the state to get loan, and if the state is having a big financial problem, union government will give a guarantee for the state loan. So if the union government has guaranteed an outstanding loan of the state, then, so normally if the union government is providing a guarantee to a state loan and it is still outstanding, it means that loan is not completed, it is going on, then no fresh loan can be raised by the state without the consent of the union government. Okay. So if the union government is giving a guarantee to an existing state loan, then state government cannot raise fresh loan without the consent of the union government. This is a very important point. Similarly, if the government of India has given a loan to the state government, okay, if the central government have offered a loan to a state under a law made by the parliament, so if in any case if the central government have given a loan to the state government, then as long as that loan remains outstanding and center has given a loan to the state and that loan is outstanding, in that case state cannot raise any fresh loan without the consent of the government of India. So if the sender has given a loan to the state and that if that loan is outstanding, no fresh loans can be raised by the state without the consent of the Government of India. This statement was asked in the prelims question, 2018 prelims question. Okay. Similarly, the Government of India may impose terms in giving its consent. So this is mentioned in the Article 293. So Article 292 deals with the borrowing power of the Union. Article 293 deals with the borrowing power of the state. So these just have an idea, and since UPSC asked a question from this particular section, you need to be very thorough with this particular area. We will see this question, okay. And the question was not a direct question. This question was an economic question as well as a polity question. First two statement is an economy statement and the third statement is a polity statement. Okay, if you read the third statement, see, as per the Constitution of India, it is mandatory for a state to take the central government consent for raising any loan if the former owes any outstanding liability to the latter. So third statement is correct. We have seen under Article 293. So this was a 2018 prelims question. So third statement is correct. Now regarding this question, first statement is also correct. FRBM review committee has recommended a debt to GDP ratio of 60% for the general government by 2023, comprising 40% for the central government and 20% for the state government. First statement is also correct. So since it is not an economic session, I am not discussing this, but the second statement is wrong. Why means the central government domestic liability is 49%. What they have done is they have changed the liability of the center and the state. Okay, the central government domestic liability is 49% of the GDP, and the state, taking all the state government together, their combined domestic liability is 21%. So second statement is wrong. So this correct answer is 1 and 3 only. Now here, so UPSC have asked a question regarding the borrowing power of the state. So be thorough with that particular section.